Hey everybody, this is Patrick. Just wanted to welcome you to the Ranking Factory webinar. Um, be prepared to be blown away with some of the things that you're going to learn, see, and hear today. With me today, I have Dr. Leon, who is a semi-brain with us, and a lot of the things that you're going to see are his creations. We have Gary Afron with us, who is the original amoeba thought process that exploded this into what it is today, from the WSOs that he had on Warrior Forum, product of the day, 3-4 days running, product of the month. And so Gary's with us and Dr. Leon's with us. So, my background is in the last 8 to 10 years just building software for and working behind the scenes, nothing really in front of the scenes. And so Gary and I have been working together for a long time. And, when we started the Ranking Factory 16 months ago, it developed into a pretty good product. And in the last 4 months, we have absolutely revised and redone the entire system, as you're going to see today. A lot of that new system is with the help of Dr. Leon. So, Gary, why don't we hear a little bit about yourself, more than what I've already said?
Well, goodness. Looking back, it's been a journey. But where this all journey started was basically theory. And we took a theory of Google properties pushing Google properties. And where it first started was in YouTube. I've got an image here if you'll share the screen here with me just for a second. Well, I guess not. There we go.
I'm bringing you in. Hang on a second, buddy. The one thing about live webinars is there's always something that's live and we have to deal with. So here you go.
Thank you. Oh, and my image disappeared. So let me pull it back up.
You got to click the button to say accept. There you
go. I do. Thank you. For some reason, all my images that I had saved down there disappeared on me. So we're going to let me know if everybody can see my screen.
Yep. They say, yep. Can you make it bigger?
I'm going to make it a little bigger.
All right. Cool.
Now,
everybody can see you. You're good.
What you're seeing here is 9 out of 10 on the first page and 36 out of the top 40. But I want everybody to take a real quick notice that there's only 3 views on this one. This one had 104, but that's not mine. 8 views, 7 views. That's not mine. See, they had massive views, 7 views. And yet these videos dominated all the accounts with RPI and lots of views. And all this came from by siloing or stacking these videos. And so this started an adventure for us that led to the software you see today, stacking the properties, the Google properties, because Google loved Google so much that it passes that authority on to whatever you target. So that adventure led to the software that you see. And rather than me sit here and talk about it, we're gonna jump right into the demo. I'm gonna have Patrick turn this over to Leon, and let's take a look and see what the software actually does.
Well, hey Gary, before you do that,
yes.
Maybe one of the things that we could do to get everybody excited about some of the possibilities is
wait.
Do you have a copy of that map?
Let's do that. We got to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to show you what we're doing and results that we're getting and how we're getting there before we actually show you the software. So,
well, let me pull up a couple pictures there. Let's pull this one up. Before we show the one you're thinking of, let's show this.
There's an interesting story behind this as well, and this
Yeah,
is one of the
I'm going to
reasons.
go into the story real quick. The person you're seeing here that's in number 3, Matt Logan, we don't know Matt Logan.
Make it bigger.
He was in 11th position in the GMB. And I believe everybody knows GMB means Google My Business. So we took a random person and pushed them from number 11 to number 3, and he has no idea how he got there. Can everybody see this picture? Do I need to bring this up a little larger? Let's go ahead and do it. There you see Matt Logan, number 3. This process took an entire 2 days. So let's drop this image out and everybody get their depends on.
One person's asking, what are depends?
Depends is to keep you from wetting your britches so you don't have a mess to clean up.
Okay.
This
Oh,
is
wow. Looks like a tornado.
this image right here is an image that very few people have ever seen anything done like this, if anybody. We dominated the pin hijacking and took every pin in the entire area. So the information in these pins now belongs to who? Belongs to your client or you, if you have a business. And it just dominates everything in it. And if it comes close, it dominates it. We grab it. So there's just a little glimpse of what's to come using this software. Now, anybody, give me a 1 if this excites you. We got some 1s coming. Give me a 2 if you don't have a clue what we're talking about. Can you read me off of how many 1s and 2s we're getting there, Patrick?
A lot of ones, couple twos. Holy crap, where the depends. Holy blank, blank, blank. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's back up for a second. What is, for those of you that do local, what is getting a GMB client and helping them get into the 3-pack worth to you? Can we get some answers?
Actually, what it's worth to them, right? To the
What it's
client.
worth to them? What is worth to you as a paying client? How much money would that put in your pocket?
We've got 250 a month, 500 a month, 750 a month, 300 a month, 1,000 a month. One guy here, Jim's pretty smart. He says it depends on the ROI of the business.
That's correct. But let's look at it in a broader view real quick before I turn this over to Dr. Leon. If this took 2 days, some of them may take 4, maybe 5 days to do, and that's really just a campaign on the software. What would 20 clients like this that are waiting and hungry for you to do this, if they're not in the 3-pack, where do you think they will need to be or want to be and understand how important it is to be there?
I think that's pretty obvious. That's where they need to be.
That's where they need to be.
They're taken over by ads on top, directories on the bottom, and pretty soon, there's going to hardly be any room for regular local businesses to even be on the first page. So the 3-pack is critical.
The 3-pack generates phone calls to their business, and their phone calls are their lifeblood. People will pay you for this service more than any other service available out there. They're the easiest clients to accumulate, and they'll jump on it.
So that's pretty awesome. So that's a preview of some of the things that we're able to accomplish with the software that we built. It is pretty extensive. So, you really want to kind of shut your cell phones off and maybe want to even take some notes. There will be a replay, so you don't need to ask us if there's going to be a replay. But right now I'm going to introduce you to Dr. Leon, who can give you a little bit about his past, and he's going to walk you through some of the steps and how this software works. So, Dr. Leon, take it over.
I'm just waiting. There we go. Boom. There we are. Since we were showing rankings, why don't we do something live instead of Memorex? and show you what we're currently working on. And here's a keyword. And if you'll see this video right down here in the fourth spot for 15,600,000 results, that's my video that we pushed up with the ranking factory. Let's go look at one over here. And we can see it's not a huge keyword, 732,000 results, but this is our tool that we built. And this website is ranked totally off of the videos that I've ranked on this page. And the videos are basically dominating currently with 6 on the front page, plus the website that we've ranked. And I haven't actually seen anybody able to do that with that many videos in the last 3 years or so. Have you, Gary?
I for some time, Google has taken a effort to limit the number of videos on page one drastically, particularly from one account.
Exactly. These are all from one account. We're ranking 6 videos currently, and we have had up to 8 videos on this page, plus the site, which nothing has been done to the site except putting it in the description of the video and on the Google sites we build with the ranking factory. So let me look at one other live ranking here, and let's take a look at my video. Is currently #1 for, it's dropped down now, it used to be a lot higher, 343,000 search results. So we can see we're able to rank videos pretty well.
What do you mean? It's still #1.
Yep, still #1.
Those are 4 ads above you.
I know. It's the only thing that beats me. Can't beat an ad hardly. So let's take a look at our software. And what we've actually created is a software to take advantage of Google. And if you can see, we have done some things differently than anybody else has done. We're using short URLs, and I'll talk about that in a second. We're using an HTML creator, which does cloud stacking. We have a link grabber, which can grab all our links that we make from all Google properties. We have a Google SiteMaker, a document stacker, Sheets, a Google Drive tool, which is similar to the link grabber, except it grabs your edit links. And then we have Drive photos and slides currently, and there's more to come. So if we drop in here to our short URLs, we actually can create Firebase URLs now, which have a link description that we can put in them. And so we can drop an actual description in there. And if you drop that link in a social media context, you will actually get this right here. That description will show up on your social media accounts when you drop that short Firebase link in any social media accounts now. So basically, this is in Facebook, but any social media account, it'll show up just like that. So whatever you put in there is going to show up in our Firebase description. And we have YouTube variants in here. So let me grab a couple things and we'll do a real quick little demo here.
While you're doing that, Leon, let me just share with everybody, how many of you guys know what a Google shortener is? Okay, yeah, most everybody knows about Google Shorties, or what we call Shorties, which are Google shorteners. You may or may not know, but Google has discontinued Google Shorties, and if you have them, they'll last for the next year, but after that, they're going to probably go away. They've been replaced by the new shortener, Firebase. So if you didn't know that, how many of you didn't know that? Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Well, most people didn't realize that. So here's a tip for you. In utilizing Google Shorties, you now want to take a look at the new Firebase. and that is the new Google shortener that is going to be and is used now for the future, and that's why we've changed all of our processes and softwares to the Firebase platform as opposed to the Google Shorty platform. So,
Hey, Patrick, for those of the people out there that end up getting a software, we actually have a training on Firebase.
that's correct. That's very good. That's very correct. Thank you.
Okay, guys, we're ready to rock and roll with a little demo. We're going to run the YouTube variants, and since we're using the Firebase as part of it, we can put our description in there. We have to put a YouTube link in here. We got to give it a title and select the account. Now, the interesting thing of what we're doing different than anybody else has ever even attempted that I've ever seen is that we're able to switch accounts just like that. We're using APIs to do our accounts, and so we can go in and out of an account just that fast because we're not actually logging into them. We're running through an API.
What account are you talking about?
Any Google account you want to connect to.
Your Google Gmail account, any Google Gmail account, right?
Gmail and all the rest of the properties that are connected with it.
Correct. Okay.
So let's hit the run button, and this will take just a minute.
Well, guys, I want you to see how easy this is. This would take hours to accomplish this little task that we're doing, that Dr. Leon is showing you.
Yeah, and it's just that fast. Every one of those are a link directly to a YouTube variant. If we get back over here in the software, you can see they're all here. And basically, we can take this a step further now, since those are links on a document. We can, click on any of them. They're live links to the video variations. But in here, we can now take these links and send them over to another tool of ours, which is over here called Sheets. So all we have to do is click this little button right here. Boom. And now they're over here in Sheets. We've just got to fill out a couple of little things real quick.
What's a sheet? Somebody's asking, what's a sheet?
Well, it's something you sleep under at night.
What is a Google Sheet?
Oh, that's what you want to know. Well, it's a spreadsheet over on your Google Drive.
In other words, it's Excel, but it's Google's Excel called Google Sheets. And it's a Google property with Google authority.
Exactly.
And so the benefit of what we're trying to share with you here is that there's an easy process of taking all of your YouTube variants. And Gary, what's a YouTube variant?
A variant basically is just a different format of your device that's viewing the YouTube. Before we get sidetracked, Patrick, I had a thought there. How many people don't know their Google properties? Is everybody familiar with each of the Google properties that are available to you?
Mostly no. We don't know. They don't know all of them. They know there's Google Sites, there's Google Docs. Some people said there's a Google. They know Google Sheets. One person says they know Google presentation, which is a PDF, or I mean a slideshow. Yeah, very few people know all of them. Correct. Nobody knows all of them, actually.
So, are we ready for the demo?
We're ready for the demo.
Okay. So basically, once you fill out a comment, your links are already automatically put in there. You've got to have a main keyword, a secondary keyword, which should be shorter version of your main keyword. Of course, your title is here. You select your account again, whatever one you want to use. And then all you have to do is we're going to show you a preview of what it's going to look like. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Where's it go? Preview. There we go. And so it's going to look like this in your sheets. You're going to have keyword on each side with the link that away. But if we come over here and hit the keyword anchor text, we can actually change all of these in just a second. Here we go. All of these are now live links on your keywords. So we're getting anchor text links on both sides of your main link. And so,
hey, Dr. Leon, what's the advantage of doing that?
you're creating relevance through the link to those specific keywords. And so the relevance is what tells Google what that link is all about.
Appreciate that.
And it's a Google link, not a GSA or Money Robot or any crap link. This is a high authority Google link.
Right. That's all we work with is Google links because of the high domain authority of Google and the fact that Google likes Google better than likes anybody else. So once we have that, we can also add another factor, which most people are not doing and are not familiar with, is we can actually translate this whole thing into other languages. And we can do it through the translation multiplier simply by clicking a few languages here. Let's click Spanish. And what was it you liked, Patrick?
One guy says, what about German?
German. I thought you liked Russian.
I do like Russian.
Okay, well, let's click Russian then. And so all we have to do is that, and then we'll simply click, instead of the upload button, we're going to click Run Translation Multiplier. And once we do, it will start the process. And boom, here we go. There's one sheet. There's two sheet. There's our third sheet.
What do you guys think of that?
And there comes the fourth sheet. Okay, so we've got our English and our three other languages.
Let me give you some responses here real quick. That looks really cool. That looks really awesome. And Mary's like, that really sounds interesting, but what is the value? Why do it?
Why do it? Is you're creating more backlinks and you're creating more relevance now in other languages. So your links, you can actually use the same information, but turn it into another language, and it's totally different, but yet creating more relevance to those links in each of those languages. So you're multiplying the number of links you can get by the number of languages you use. Instead of just having the one set, now we actually have 4 sets, and we're continuing to create more relevance to that particular set of links with those keywords.
So this shows Google a lot different looks at the same thing, but because it's in different languages, one of the things I want to address to Jim out there who's asking, how does this affect like keywords in different languages if you're trying to CPA offer, you're trying to do local? Well, the thing about that is that if you really think about the idea, most everybody is trying to go after English and English keywords in United States, but you know, there's so many other places in the world that we can address by doing this with these languages that you're going to just rank like lickety split for that keyword because nobody else is doing it and nobody has the relevancy of this. So open up your mind and expand yourself to the fact that with everything that we're showing you, you know, how would you be able to generate, you know, a lot of power to your CPA offers or your local businesses in different languages, because this tool is going to allow you to do that, and there's virtually no other tool on the market that can accomplish that goal because of the way we've designed that.
Hey, Patrick, just for a second, something that we sometimes fail to point out is where these links are going is your target. It's not relevant as much as what it does for your target URL. And it doesn't make a difference whether that's a video, it's a website, it's a CPA offer, it's a local offer. Correct. It's no relevance because there's so much authority being thrown at your target by Google links that Google loves that you're going to be rewarded whatever that target is.
Very true. Doesn't matter what your property is.
Well, and the second thing is we have just created backlinks for this set of URLs over here into here.
Right.
And so we're creating multiple sets of backlinks, not just one. We have the doc set of backlinks and we have the sheet set of backlinks. So we're creating multiple backlinks. And let's say there's 150. That's 150 times 5 now
Wow.
of backlinks. So instead of one set of 150, now we have that times 5.
Well, here's the question, Leon. How long did that take?
Well, you saw it. Blink and it's done.
Well, yeah, but add the total. How long would it take?
Would have taken? Yes. Well, hours and hours and hours.
Manually create 5 sets of 100, 125, 150, whatever the number be.
It would have taken a lot of time.
A lot of time.
Exactly. The stuff I used to do would take me, and I didn't just do this. I did a number of things, but the entire set of things would take me like a week for my videos. And once I did, I would rank, and almost nobody would be able to beat me. So let's drop out of these now that we've seen all of that and get back.
We're moving on to the next thing here. Everybody on a scale of 1 to 10, tell me what do you think? How cool and how valuable this tool might be to set up backlinks to your properties. I said 1 to 10, not to 1 to not 100, not 1,500. 10. Okay, we got 8, 9s, 10s, 100, 1,500, 1,000. Cool. Now, how many of you think you could do this relatively quickly with how simple this is? Yes, yes, yes. No. Maybe. Depends. Yes, yes. Cool. All right, great. Move on. Thank you, guys.
Now in the HTML creator, which also takes us over to the Cloud Stacker, we just basically have to set up a few things in our HTML. And once we've done it, we can save it, reload it, excuse me, which makes it easier to put it back into wherever we want it to go. So there's no big deal here, but basically once you've set it up, you have to run the target keywords and get your anchor text over here by hitting this little button, which takes just a few seconds.
Okay, so here's the question I want to ask. How many people here are using HTML and you're making HTML pages or sites? Give me a yes or a no. Okay, mostly no's. And trust me, that's generally the case. Not all of us are doing HTML because it's somewhat complicated. So what we built here for you and what Leon is going to share with you is you don't have to worry about building HTML. You just need to fill in the boxes with the data. And you can see all he did was push a single button with the data that he filled in, and it created this HTML page for you. Y'all think that's easy enough? Give me a 1 if you think you can do it, 2 if you're not sure. Okay, 80% ones. And of the people who had ones, how many ever created HTML before? Very few. Cool, thank you.
And once we have that, we can actually do a process that most people are probably not familiar with, is we go over here to our Cloud Stacker setup, and we can pick our cloud accounts and we can run them in order. And so basically whatever one you set up first is the one it's going to go to, and then it'll take that link and connect it to the next one, and that'll set up the same thing over on that account, and then it'll take that link and set it up over on the next account. So we're building a stack of cloud accounts, which is the ability to put things on the cloud is very cheap, very inexpensive. You don't have to go have domains and have hosting. This is where they do the hosting, and it's very, very inexpensive, and you actually get accounts set up with credit when you first start this. So usually about the first year can be almost totally free. And these rank very fast usually. So that's what we're doing with the Cloud Stacker, is running those up there.
So somebody says, I don't have any idea what you just said. Gary, what are the clouds? Who are the clouds? What are they designed for? And well, like Dr. Leon said, they're very powerful, but why are they powerful?
They're powerful because they give a tremendous trust factor and citation factor ratings. In fact, the Google Cloud, and I assume a couple of the other ones, do follow links. So their trust factor ranges from 70 up.
To 100.
Well, I've seen as high as
Almost
90.
90 or 95. But I
And
mean,
I
the
see,
range is to 100, right?
and the citation factor is just a smidgen under the trust factor with it. So here's what we found, and I'll keep this short so we can move on. Authority outranks relevance, but when you combine both of them together, there's nothing can touch you. But again, authority outranks relevance. Does everybody understand what I mean by that?
Mostly yeses.
Okay.
And the other thing we can do with this is we can actually do our translations. So we can do multiple uploads of the same thing in different languages and create more power to whatever our target URL was over here that we're doing the anchor text links to right here. And so those are all going to our target URL.
Hey, Leon, just for the sake of argument, how many languages can we use in this software?
Currently, we have 24 languages that we can use, plus our English. All good?
So
All
you could
good.
take, actually, what you're saying is that you could take this and convert it into 24 different languages, and now you have 24 different stacks that are all pointing back to your same money site keywords, but multiplied by the authorities of each of the cloud stackers, correct?
Exactly. We're using the big three, which is Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. So we're getting a lot of authority and power into those. All good?
Yeah, there's some confusion a little bit, but this is a pretty powerful software. There's going to be a little bit of confusion. Just suffice it to say is that with the cloud stacker, we are just taking your information, your relevant information, and we're putting it onto the storage unit of Google, Amazon, and Microsoft Azure. You're getting all their domain authority following through to the HTML files that are created, which are real pages. Like Dr. Leon could click on that button, a keyword translation right there, which is any of the links, and you can see that these are live HTML pages. These are live pages, and so those anchor text and those links are going directly to where you've set them up. That's the power of the cloud stacker, and then you combine that with the article and the doc stacker. You got a 1-2 punch.
Hey, most people tend to use those main three, but there's 6 available. So you could change things up if you choose.
Yep. We have GitHub, pCloud, and Alibaba as well. So we can do all 6 if we choose. We good on the cloud, guys?
Yes, sir. That's plenty for the cloud.
Okay, let's go to the link grabber. And let me grab the account. We're going to log into this account.
By the way, this is one of my favorite simple, stupid tools. Simple, yes. Time saver, unbelievable. Powerful, incredible. But simple, unbelievable.
And we'll put in a keyword. And what the entire purpose of this is, after we build all these links with all our other tools in here, we may want to get a hold of those links and use them elsewhere. So let's find a way to grab them easily. And that's what this tool is. So we're going to try Blogger and G Drive. And then once we're logged in like we are, all we have to do is hit search. And it will take just a little bit. There's our Blogger links. They will come very fast. The drive will be a little bit slower, but there's going to be a lot more files on the drive too. But it's we're doing most of this in API, except the Google Drive search is not being done in API. That's why we have to log in for the Google Drive search. So it does take just a little bit of time. So Patrick, tell me why this is so important to you now. When we first started this, I don't think you really thought it was very useful.
I'll tell you why I think it's useful. Because I used to have to go manually grab all these, and I know how much time it took, and it took forever.
Right, you actually have to log into each of these, grab that link and paste it in like a word processor or something, and then go to the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. And it would take hours depending on how many links you have.
Okay, so someone is asking, well, that's cool, that's great. You know, what can you do with it? What's it for?
Well, we're getting ready to find out right now. Now that we have all these links,
wow,
as you can see, you know, we have presentations, documents. Let's take a look up here. Documents. We have presentations. There's a spreadsheet. And a lot of documents. So let's go ahead and do something with it. What we can do once we grab them, and the whole purpose of grabbing them, is to backlink your backlinks. Does that make a little sense?
So yeah, these are all links that have, all of these have data. All the data is relevant to your destination, your money site, your YouTube, whatever it is. So what you're saying, Leon, is that these are links, backlinks to your property, and now what you're going to do is create a backlink to these backlinks. Is that right?
Exactly. And we're going to do that in two ways, actually.
Okay.
Now that we have them, we can convert and upload. Boom. There's our first part of the process. Give it a second. And there we go. All of those links are now in a document. And they're anchor text links. So that was step one. Now we have one set of backlinks to these. Let's go ahead and do...
By the way, I have a comment called "Holy shit."
Okay. That's what your depends are for. Now we're going to send these over to Sheet.
That's why we told you to get them.
Now we're in Sheets, basically. Something went wrong here. Let's see. I'll close that again. Go back over to the grabber. Keyword translation. Shouldn't have done. Send to Sheets. We're pulling up an old one somehow. It's pulling up an old file, so I'm not sure why it's doing that.
Well, this is a good segue to let everybody know that we are continually building this. Dr. Leon is showing you a brand new version that we received just yesterday, but we're still kind of in a beta environment here, and that's one of the reasons why when you see the value of what we're sharing with you and the price point, you're going to be astonished and amazed. But we continue to build this. We have about another 3 or 4 products that we're adding, and we will be done, at which point the value and the price point will increase dramatically. But, you know, be cognizant of the fact that once in a while, as you're running through this yourself, you may run into an issue. And we have a Skype group of over almost close to 500 people right now that are willing to jump on and help, as well as a great support group. So this is as much as we make this an easy button to work, you know, we just want to forewarn everybody that once in a while we do get an issue, and we're okay with that.
It's actually pulling the links in, but it's pulling up old information from a past deal here, so I'm not sure why it's doing that exactly. But we should be good. Let me see something here. Yeah, we were using number 5. No, I think we're actually good. So
okay.
This is what we have here over in Sheets is we have the ability to put this in the sheets like we showed earlier.
There you go.
That's what we have in the sheets that we sent over there. Oh, I know what it was. It was from the shortener, wasn't it?
Yep.
That's why it's pulling that in. Now it's really got to think about it.
So, you know, basically the power of doing what we're sharing with you with all those links that we grabbed, when you add it to putting it into the sheets and using it in other anchor text environments, you can see how powerful that this whole process is.
I'm going to close that. Now we should be able to get what we want.
Okay.
I think.
We'll try it again.
So, yeah, all those links are there. The other was our variant. So that was getting us a little confused because I hadn't put anything in here yet. But we have all the information in our sheet that we would normally put in here. And these are the correct links from what I can see. All of the links we pulled up from the grabber are there. And we can see it in the preview.
Right.
So, yeah, they're all there. That's not the, and then we have the translation multiplier.
You have an awful lot of links there, so you may see it bogged down just a little bit.
Yeah, and I may have had too much open here.
And one thing about GoToMeeting, it does pull on the resource of using the software in a GoToMeeting format.
Let me close this.
It's awesome. I would have been very disappointed if we didn't have a glitch along the way anyway. So while we're doing that, any other comments? Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Leon.
We can do the same translation multiplier that we did in our variants if we choose to, but basically we're going to skip that for now. We've got the setup done. Everything's ready to run. All we have to do is hit the upload button right here so we can see that the links from the grabber will get uploaded.
Gotcha.
And there they are, all uploaded.
Yeah, how many are there? Just scroll all the way down to the bottom.
I have no idea.
You can just drag it all the way down a lot quicker than that. Take the button and drag it.
What fun is that? I can't get the button because it's behind your software.
There you go. Oh, you got it. It's still coming.
440.
440 Google backlinks to your other backlinks. So you've double stacked your backlinks.
Actually, guys, it's not 440. It's 440 times 3.
Oh, because they're all, it's right, because of the 3 clouds.
Correct. But yeah, these are naked and these are anchor text. So yeah, you can multiply that by 3.
All right.
That's what we have there. And that's our sheets unit. So we're going to close out of that for now. Close out of the link grabber, and we're going to go to G sites.
Somebody said that's enough. Where do I buy?
And grab a file for G sites.
Everybody know that Google has its own website? Give me a 1 if you do, 2 if you don't. Okay. 30 a little less than half of the people know there are Google sites, and the other half don't even know what they are. So while he's setting that up, Gary, tell everybody what Google sites are and what we use them for.
Well, we use them for several reasons. They rank high very, very quickly. But here's the thing. There's 0 hosting costs and 0 renewals of a domain name. So your total expense is what? 0. And I've ranked them as quickly as number 1, page 1 in 5 days or less. Now, I want everybody to think about that real quickly while Leon's setting this up. How long would it take you to rank a normal website, if you knew what you're doing and you were very, very good at it, how long would it take you to get to page 1?
I've got answers anywhere from a couple weeks to months.
More often than not, if it's a competitive keyword, months is the right answer.
Right.
And a lot of work and a lot of expense.
I've got a couple comments. I don't even know how to build a website. I hire people to do it.
Well, there's your expense right there, isn't it?
Right. So now you don't have to worry about building them. You just have to fill in a couple fields.
Right. It's
And
fill in the blank, basically. You got to give your pages title. You've got to select what pages you're going to use. And then, of course, your main site title, and select your account. Then you come over here, you'll drop a spin text article in, hit spin, and over here under home, all that will be filled out. You just have to connect your headers and your images up as you go through this. And then once that's set up, you're ready to run. Each of these pages will be unique content, and you're connecting to your videos, wherever you want to connect to, and connected to the image you want to connect to, whatever image it is. So that's what we're running through there.
I got one comment that says, "Look, if you're charging more than $500 a month for this, I can't afford it." No, sir, we're not charging $500 a month. You can sit and relax.
Exactly. And so let's go ahead and get out of sites, and I'll show you one in a second. But let's show the doc stacker since we're running a little slow here. We're going to get over to our article stacker, and we're going to load one of those. Let's see.
Just remember what we shared with you on the cloud stacker. The concept here is the same. We're building authority documents that are stacked and heaped upon each other to push that juice up and up and up and up to what we call our buffer page, or our it's the page that we send everything to so that we don't overload your properties. But that one buffer page shoots all that juice out to all of your properties. Very powerful. And the nice thing about the buffer page is if you're doing this for clients, if for some reason they stop using you, you can stop all that power you've built to them, go into your buffer page or your Google document. It's a Google document, but we call it buffer page. And you can change where you want to take that fire hose, and instead of putting out the fire on the right side of the street, you just turn around and put the fire out on the left side of the street. And then the house on the right side of the street just burns to the ground because they no longer get all the juice and all the work that you've done. And a lot of people like that because, you know, every now and then you get hired to do that for a client and they stop paying you, or, you know, none, and you could just say, fine, we'll just go to your competitor and give them everything we've been giving you.
Hey, Patrick, one thing we ought to mention, because nobody's seen this before, we're showing you each of the pieces of the software, but they run individually. It would
Correct.
you would only need to use a small portion of what we're showing you to just dominate. You don't need to use everything every time. You're going to find that sometimes just running a module or two is all you really need to take and dominate anything you're trying to. It's only for the ultra competitive that you're going to run everything for this much juice to be pushed.
Right. And what Gary's talking about is one of the things. How many of you guys know what ripoff report is? Okay, most everybody knows ripoff report. How many of you believe that you could move ripoff report off the front page? I've tried. It's impossible. Only if you pay them. Right. A lot of people don't know or have a clue. The reality of it is that there are people that have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to get ripoff pages removed from the front page, and it's virtually impossible. However, at the very beginning of the process, a year ago, we took on the challenge to do that. We can't share that with you because of a confidentiality, but we were able to move that rip-off report off the front page onto the second page for a financial client. And you can imagine how devastating that was to him, being, somebody looks him up and it's rip-off report. And so you can't get rid of them, but we've been able to move them by utilizing this software concept. So that's pretty report. How much do you think you could charge somebody to easily find and have a rip-off report and get that moved to the second or third page? How much do you think they pay you? $1,000. I got $500. Here's a guy that's charged up to $10,000. Very good for you, sir. Cool. You're going to love this tool because it's going to make your workload ridiculously low, and you can charge double or get very many more clients for the time that you took to just get that one. So it's very powerful, and you can make a lot of money at it. Sorry, Leon.
Actually, we moved that one to the bottom of page 2. Absolutely, he was in the last position on page 2. That's where they hide. That's where they hide all the dead bodies. Is page 2, by the way.
Exactly.
And what we're doing here in the article stacker is basically we're creating a main keyword, a secondary keyword, like we talked before. We're putting in our titles, our document title, and then all our additional titles for our additional documents. Once we have that, we go into and use our spin text, hit spin, and it creates the articles for you. You can drop in some comments on the articles, and you have all 5 articles if you choose to. And
are those articles editable, Leon?
Basically, yeah. If you go over onto your drive, you can edit them.
Okay.
And basically, so everything's set up. Then we chose to run the translation stacker. We grabbed some languages to stack, and we're ready to run this. So all we have to do is hit the Run Translation button, and this thing.
John, before you hit that button, let's give a disclaimer. Better have double depends on for this one.
Too late.
Too late.
So in the 3 minutes that Gary and I were talking, it took Leon to set this up. Now, obviously, you have to take the time to set the data up first and do all of your preliminary stuff and have it ready. But once you have it ready, you come in here, and literally within 3 minutes, Dr. Leon was able to set this up, and we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 copies of this document that's going out in various languages. As you can see, it's just popping them out like rabbits.
And it will go through this. And each of these are anchor text to your title and anchor text to your secondary keywords inside the article. So that was the entire purpose, is to get your link in there and get it anchor texted into these articles.
Correct.
And it has to think a minute between the translations. Once it does think, and then the translations just keep going through all 5 articles pretty quick.
So look at it, even translated your keyword into the the language that we're doing.
Right. Either Chinese or Korean. I forget which one we're at. I think it's Chinese at the moment.
Okay. I like where it says Google, Bing, and Weeboo in the middle of it.
We're getting a couple comments here. Once again, this is a bit overwhelming. How difficult is it to set up and run? Because I'm a newbie. I don't know that much. Is it something that I'd be able to handle, or would I just be buying another shiny object and get frustrated and not be able to use it? That's a great question, by the way. Thank you, Sam.
The whole point behind setting this up, and the reason I took it over, is I wanted to make this as simple as possible for myself, and especially for Patrick. So we developed the software with that in mind, is to make it as simple and easy to use as possible. With the article stacker, the only thing you really need is your titles and a good spin text. Then, of course, you grab the links you're going to use. So it's not really that complicated to run.
So I think that it would be safe, Sam, to say that what you're seeing here, myself included, especially me, I would tell you this: there's 100% chance, 100% chance of failure if I had to try to do this by hand myself. It would be impossible for me to do it. I would never do it. I would rather stand in front of a bus on a highway than try to do all of this, right? But because of the way in which we've designed this, and Dr. Leon and Gary mostly have put their brains together to do this, you can see that just by filling in a couple fields, we've done all the heavy lifting, and you're going to get all the results for that heavy lifting that we put in front of you. So if you can copy, cut, and paste and do the setup, which, all setups take time and effort. It's not that we're saying that it's just simple and easy. You do have to put the time to set this up. But once you set it up, this is the simplicity and the beauty of how this works. Does that make sense, Sam?
Exactly. I mean, all you're seeing is fields to put in your titles. You got to have your keyword anchor text, simple and a little more complex. Then basically your spin text article, that's really all you need. Once you hit spin, everything is filled out over here for you, except for the comments. You'll have to put those in, and you're ready to run. And if you want to do the translation stacker, you click this little button here and select the languages you want, and then you're ready to run on those. And now you hit the Run Translation Stacker button. If you don't want to do the translation, you just hit the Upload button. And as you can see, we now have all of these different language links. Boom, 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 boom. And so we can just take a look at any of them.
Hey, Leon,
Yep.
one thing we ought to emphasize, these are actual properties that this is building.
Exactly. Every document is its own property. But let me show you what it's actually doing that may not be understanding. We're actually able to run this in an HTML or a PDF. So we can do both. We can do either one or both. And it's what we're setting it up to do is run it to our buffer doc. But we're stacking these. So basically this first doc, once it's done, they will take the link for that and put it in the second doc. So that's going deep. We're creating tiers for this with our document stacker. And in just a matter of minutes, you can run through up to 24 languages plus your English. And so you can do it over here, or you can do it over in the PDF side.
I saw another image down there that kind of shared all that languages. You want to show that one? Oh, I don't see it. What's the one on the right?
That's the old model that we used to use for connecting everything to our Google site through buffer docs.
But it's still relevant though, right? Because when you think of everything that Dr. Leon and Gary has said, we're building sheets, and that sheets is going to a buffer page, and that buffer page is going to a Google site, which is then going to the final buffer page, which is setting the money to your video or your money site or whatever. Now this is modified a little bit, but I want you all to get the essence that, how many of you know what a PBN is? Sure. Almost everybody knows what a PBN is. And in order to do a PBN, would you take your crappy PBN links and send to your money site? No. You're going to send them to another tier of PBNs. So look at this, the purple as an outside tier, sending to an inside tier, sending to, a second tier, which is going to your first tier, and then going to your money site. Does that make sense? Because you all basically know what a PBN is, right? Yeah, for sure. Okay, I got it. Makes sense. Yep, sounds cool. Powerful. Okay, so yeah, that kind of illustrates what we're doing with all of this. Thank you.
So that was basically our document stacker. Let's get out of that. And we are over to drive photos, or do we want to show? Yeah, we can show that. In the Google Drive tool, basically we're doing the same thing as the link grabber, except we're grabbing edit links. So if you're logged into that account, once you pull up the edit link, then you'll be able to go right to that property, whatever it is, a document or a spreadsheet or whatever, and edit it. So that makes it simple for your editing process. And then in the Drive photos, basically we can add photos, and then we're going to put in some text here and here. This is our folder file description and our comments. So let's go ahead and do that. See what we can get up to.
When it comes to images, you know, everybody that's on here, how many of you actually do the metadata for your images? Give me a 1 if you do, 2 if you do some, 3 if you hardly do it at all. Okay, great. We have a really good mix, right? So with the images that you have, if they're sitting on your hard drive, okay, think about this for a minute. If the images that you have, whether you've done any optimization or no optimization, and those images are sitting on your hard drive, is there any way Google is going to be able to see those images or use those images for, you know, any type of relevancy, ranking, or anything, right? So what? Give me a yes if they can use them, or 2 if they can't. Okay, so virtually everybody realizes, Leon and Gary, that having an image is great, optimized or not. If it's sitting on your drive, it doesn't do any good. So let's think about Google loving Google again, right? So what Dr. Leon is going to share with you is, what if those images, instead of sitting on your hard drive, were sitting on your Google Drive? Is the light bulb going off for anybody? So one of the responses is, so that you're saying if we host all of our images on our optimized images on our Google Drive, then Google's going to see them and we're going to be able to get some benefit from that? Gary?
That's its own answer. There's going to be a benefit.
What benefit's he going to get?
You're going to get the Google inherited values where it's hosted. In other words, every Google property has a age of site is considered still a site, even though it's a property. It's going to have a trust factor, and it's going to have a citation factor that you get to inherit directly from Google from the age of that platform.
So, in other words,
everybody understand that?
Mostly, yep. I think I got it.
So we're ready to run?
Yes, sir. So what are you doing here?
So we've gathered our images. All we had to do is select our images, and now we have a check all button, so we don't have to tick each one individually. We're pasting in a folder description, and we're putting in a comment down here. That's all there is to this one. We just simply hit upload.
Oh my gosh. So these are just images that were sitting on your hard drive, right?
Yep.
Wasting away in Margaritaville.
Mostly.
Well, there was no value to them sitting on your hard drive.
So all these images are going to have a link here in a minute.
Getting a couple wows. Awesome. So just by doing this, this is what Julie's saying. Just by doing this, we're taking our images on our hard drive, we're adding them to a folder in Google, and because we're doing that, Google's going to be able to see those images now, and I'm trying to understand it, and there will be some relevancy to those images on our Google Drive as opposed to nothing on our hard drive. She got it right?
Pretty close. We're adding the relevancy is in the metadata and over here in our folder description and our file comments. So whatever we put in here, as well as what we put in the metadata of the images, is what Google is going to pay attention to in this case.
Okay. I got a couple light bulbs went on.
Hey, Leon, let me ask a question for the sake of asking it.
Okay.
Each of these images, once they're in your drive, has an embed code, correct?
Yes.
And the embed code is going to carry that information with it that you just put in there.
Exactly. And we have the information showing up right here in
Comments.
There we go.
the comments.
That's almost like wow. That's almost like you're adding your own metadata into your image that Google can see on your drive. It's not in your image, but it's relevancy right there that explains what that image is about, without having to get into the technical aspects of going in behind and doing metadatas and all of that. So if you have no idea what to do, none whatsoever, other than take an image, upload it to the hard drive or the Google Drive, and put some description in there, you've now created a very powerful, event for your images that were just absolutely in zero land before. That's awesome.
So now that we have all those links, we actually have another step in here we can do to backlink those links. We can send those to Sheets again. So there we are back in Sheets. So we can run the Sheets again.
So you guys getting the relationship of how valuable Sheets is to everything? How many of you ever thought about using Sheets for your SEO before? Okay, we got 98% having no clue, and we have 2% of the people that actually are using Sheets. Awesome, good for you. So
And
if you don't even buy our software, and if you don't even use anything, that we're sharing with you, hopefully that you're learning something here that will help you in your business by taking what we're sharing with you here, doing it the long way. It's fine, but you're going to increase your value to your clients, your value to the product that you're selling, your value to your CPA offers, whatever your target is, your value to your videos, just by utilizing this idea and concept that we're sharing with you. Even if you don't participate and use the tool, our goal is to give you valuable information that will help you in your business. So hopefully we're doing that for you.
so our next tool is slides, and we can basically pull up a slide
Now what
here.
Dr. Leon is doing here, which is really cool, is that we've got a save and load button. So once you create a campaign or you create a slide presentation or whatever, you can just go back into your file and upload this instead of having to recreate it. How cool is that, right? Bunch of awesomes coming through right now. And then, Leon, what is a Google slide? What is it in the real world compared to?
Presentations.
Presentation, right?
PowerPoint.
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 So if you guys know what a PowerPoint is and you've never seen presentations before, and I'm sure most of you have never thought about using presentations for SEO, here's another trick. Go make your PowerPoint. You can upload your PowerPoint directly into your Google presentations. There's a way to do that very simply. And now that PowerPoint that's sitting on your hard drive, worthless and useless in wasteland, can now be sitting on your Google Drive. And now you've created some potential relevancy and some potential juice for yourself by just having it sit on your hard drive. Cool? This is awesome. You guys are great. Never even thought about that. Who would think it? I use it all the time. It's so powerful. Very cool, Bill. Thank you very much. Not that you're using our tool, but you're using the concept. Yes, cool. Sorry, Leon, go ahead.
1 second.
Oh, I can talk a lot more if you're not done.
Yeah, I know.
Now, one thing that you don't want to necessarily do is get crazy with this, guys. You don't have to build a 30-page presentation out. It's not necessary. So we've kind of done this in a way to keep this from getting overly used by, setting up 4, 5, 6 sheets or pages in here that you can fill out and make your presentation, i.e. PowerPoint. And really cool thing that we've added, many of you who do PowerPoints, I'm sure, do speaker notes. But within presentation, we can also add speaker notes. And from everything that we can find, the speaker notes is carrying some, SEO crawlable value to the relevancy of the page. Okay. So that gives us a little bit of another boost for having your PowerPoint reside on your Google Drive.
And in the slides presentation, basically we got to have our main title, select our account, put in our other titles for our pages, select the pages that we're going to use, and then we drop in a presentation comment. But we also have an image folder presentation description. We've got to put in our target URL and our video URL. Once we have that, we go over to slides and we start hooking this up. So the very first slide is going to be your page title. Second slide, your video. Third and on slides are going to be your text box or image or both. You can run that in there. We're just going to do an image on this one. And let's go take a look. That's one check.
So the first two are hard coded, right? So there's no, is that what you're saying, Leon? They're hard coded?
Well, they're not hard coded. You have the option, but those are the best options. You don't want to go somewhere else with that.
Okay. So with that being said, we're testing this to see kind of what works the best, and you can kind of move things around that you want. Oh, here's somebody's asking, well, what if I want to make 10 pages? How do I make 10 pages? Because I have a 10-page PowerPoint.
Basically, once you've created the 5 pages, then you can go in and edit the page and add the extra pages yourself.
Okay, so you have to know how to edit. If you can edit PowerPoint, you can edit this.
Right, and we have a couple of options in here. We can have this once we build it open in the browser or not, and the links that we have we'll drop into here either way. So we're going to click open in a browser so you can see it, and we have the ability to run the translation multiplier if we want to do that. We definitely don't want to do all of those.
No way.
We might pick one.
Just pick two. 1 or 2 is all you need.
One is I kind of like Irish. It's kind of fun. And so we will do 2 sets of slides, one in English, one in Irish, and we're ready to go. All we have to do then is hit the translation multiplier button.
Okay.
I believe, is that right? No, wait a minute. Yeah, we're already there. Where did it go? Enable. Create and upload, I believe. So here we go. I don't see it anywhere else.
The reason that we struggle a little bit right there is this is brand new. We just got this.
Yeah, he changed the interface on me today. So it's currently working.
Yeah, you can always check on the bottom left-hand corner of your software and see exactly where you are in the process and that it's working.
And there's our anchor text link for the first slide. Here's our video. Here's our page with the text. And here's our image page. So we have all 4 pages showing up. Let's get back over here. And there's the link to the first one. It's currently working on the second one. Which is
John, to answer your question, John, if you think about using these not so much for ranking purposes of themselves, or PowerPoints that you're going to use unless you want to build this out. And we may actually think about adding more pages, as an option, but we don't want to do that in here because people will abuse it and it'll freak out the system. But if you think about what you're doing and the purpose of this is, we would like them to make them look good because they can rank. The object is not necessary to rank them, but to use the power of these to help rank our money sites. Does that make sense? Right. Okay, so you got it.
And it's also an embed for the video, so it will help rank the video.
Right,
and so this is our translation here into Irish, and we can see, the video is still there, the translated text is there, and our image is still there, along with the keyword to our original target URL, which was a document. So, and there's the 2 links we have, so that we have those links right here if we want to use them for something.
Cool.
And we don't have to have it open in a browser. We just did that to show you. They are also clickable, so you can click them from here after they're made, and if you want to look at them. And so that's pretty much all of our tools in here. Do we have any specific questions, Patrick?
I'm going to take a look at some here. There's some coming in. What's coming? Are we finished, or is what's coming?
Basically, calendars is next. We will have a G+ poster, a blogger poster, and then Patrick's maps is coming.
That's going to be in about a month. That's going to really blow, getting the GMBs and the maps and the pin, like the pin that Gary showed you up front. So yeah, it's pretty much all we could share with you at the moment. If you want to participate with us on this journey, we've got, like, right now, like I said, over 450 people that are participating in our Skype group, and they're getting results every day, and they're sharing ideas and recipes. It's one of the more active Skype groups that I've ever been in. I've been in Skype groups where you pay to get in them, and 30 days later you're kind of like the only one that's in there. You're just asking a question, and you're like in a canyon, and you're getting just echoes back to yourself. Just in light of that, I'll share with you my screen here, and what I want to do is I'm going to pop you into the Skype group, and you can see here we got 480 people that are in there, and it's very powerful, and we're just constantly just getting. You can see this is today, and we're just running at 3 o'clock, and it's just more and more stuff that we're seeing here. So very powerful, very powerful. So Leon, anything that you have more to share with anybody, or are you just about done?
I'm done, Patrick. Whenever you're done.
Okay. So how would you guys like to know where to go, how much this costs, what we're doing, and so forth, right? So I'm going to take one quick second here, and Gary, why don't you kind of give them an idea of, where and how powerful the maps can be, and I'll be right back.
You were just reading my mind. I want everybody to think about the maps for a second. If we could run a campaign or two and push somebody from out of the mainstream right into the 3-pack in the GMBs in 2 to 4 or 5 days. Imagine when we get the maps module and you add that extra juice pushing that GMB, you're going to be able to do it at will. And therefore you could take on as many clients paying you a monthly fee, and they'll never stop because they need to be in that 3-pack. So as long as you don't have 2 clients both in the same niche in the same town, you've got it made. Leon, you got any thoughts on that?
Well, basically, yeah, you can rank your maps, your GMBs, all of that. If you want to be a local marketer, if we're not local, we're going to be able to take that, I think, in a bigger direction, right, Gary?
Yes, we're going to be doing something with maps. Maps is primarily known as local, but we've got some little hidden stuff to expand the maps into other areas that have never been used before. So I don't want to reveal too much, but when it comes to maps, Patrick is sheer genius, and he's got some help that makes him look like a high school himself. I think he would say, but let's give him credit. He's done a lot of Lewis and Clark stuff in the maps. In fact, even in the calendars, very few people understand calendars and how powerful it is. But I will tell you this real quick and give you a hint. You could put 30 or 40 million words into a calendar and make use of it. And every day it's brand new content because it's not duplicatable content. There we go.
Okay. So for anybody that's interested, please go to rankingfactoryrevolution.com, and below that is the keyword translation factory, which is what Dr. Leon was sharing with you. There is a free version, okay? And so within the free version, you can do a lot of really cool things. It's more of a utility tool that allows us to do a lot of combo for titles and HTML and LSI keywords, and we're actually stealing, that's not the right word, we're gathering information on the top 10, 20, 30 ranking Google sites for their titles, and we're kind of using that for information for ourselves for how we're building things. And so yeah, that's pretty much where you need to go. We are thankful that you guys are here today, and just really appreciate it. If you have any questions, you can Skype me or you can Skype Gary. And my Skype is Patrick, Tuttle, and just hit me up with that. And Gary's Skype as well is, I have no idea. I know it's Gary what?
Afron.
Gary.Afron on Skype.
Yes. And let me ask you a quick question before we get sidetracked and close the webinar. What do we want to do for a bonus for the people that took the time to attend?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I think we at least need to give them the UVR course, the Ultimate Video Ranking course, which still sells for $67 right now.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, let's think about this. What do you say we give a bonus license to anybody other than monthly status? Because you can get just the monthly version of this software. So anyone that takes the annual or above, we'll throw in a bonus license, and that's like gold.
All righty. So in other words, what you're saying, what? You didn't tell me this before.
I get in trouble. I love doing webinars, so I love to give away stuff. I was thinking about giving away some of Patrick's tools, but I knew he'd say no.
Yep. You said except monthly?
Except the monthly only version.
All right. Wow. That's pretty cool. Okay. Very good. So this you can look up on the Warrior Forum right now for Ultimate Video Ranking course. Gary, when you did that, did you get any awards for that?
We had several awards for it. It kind of stunned me because I wasn't prepared, but we were product of the day. We were product of the day for about 3 days, actually. We were the top person for a week, and I think we were, I don't know, 4th or 5th for an entire month on the Warrior Forum with that product. I wasn't quite prepared for that, but it had a wide acceptance.
You were top seller for a month on that?
Almost a month. We did just over 800 sales for that product in about a month.
Cool. So, guys listening, what's really incredible? I think we've only lost 3 people in the hour and a half that we've been talking that have left. So that's always pretty interesting. So we provided good content. So anybody that buys, today, you're going to get those bonuses. And you never know. We're always subject to throwing in something special along the way as well. So thanks a lot, Gary, Leon. Awesome as usual. And I really appreciate the opportunity to share with all of those hundreds of people that are with us today, and just excited about having your future change for one reason, and it's not monetary. The reason that I'm excited about our program is that, as you heard Gary and heard Dr. Leon earlier, Dr. Leon taking weeks to do what we've basically just shown you how to do in less than an hour and a half. So what does that mean to you? And let's not think about money. What that really means in the scheme of things is that it's giving you more time to do the things that are more important to you, like spend with your family, help other people, do charitable work. You don't have to continually spend and grind out hours and hours and hours and hours a day to get your results when you can use the software that we built that will give you that extra freedom. And internet marketing is about freedom, right? It's about not having to go to work. It's about not having to be tied, to that 8 to 5 work environment. But the freedom it also gives you from that is, if you develop the process of being able to earn what you want to earn and doing what you want to do in a shorter period of time, it gives you the actual freedom of what everybody has been promoting since day one in internet marketing, which is travel the world, do all these things. And it's all mostly bogus hype crap. And it's an idea that they want to sell you. With the Ranking Factory, it's not an idea that we want to sell you. It's a reality of what can happen. Now, if you choose to take that extra time to do more work, then that's up to you. But you can accomplish these goals, like Gary was talking about, taking, a client that's a GMB 11 and you're moving him up into 3-pack. He's now going to pay you $500 or $1,000 a month. Do that 5 times. Okay. Get your YouTubes ranked like Dr. Leon is sharing with you, and, get those on there. Your client's going to keep you around for a while. You're going to be able to promote, a Spanish product that you don't even know how to promote because of all the different languages. So what we're providing for you for a very, very limited amount of money at the moment is the opportunity to get that freedom that comes only with having more time, and that time that you choose to use the way that you wish. I like it because it gives me more time to spend with my grandson.
Hey, Patrick, here's a funny thought. Before we close, let's tell them a little of the backstory. Two parts to it. We had never originally intended to ever sell this software.
No, we're going to use it strictly for ourselves. Exactly right.
Just for ourselves. And people that had known we were going to make the software kept begging for copies and everything else. And originally, a small core group that got the first version of the software offered to pay us to never market the software.
That's true.
So, and it was a good amount of money that was very hard to walk away from. So in the end, the reason we launched the software wasn't about money, but it was so effective. There's so many people out there have never made that first check or couldn't get past a certain point. That's what this software is about, is to take you to that next level to actually make an income from what you want to do.
That's a very good point. So, with that being said, any last words from Dr. Leon?
Oh, good.
You're good?
Yep.
All righty. Well, thanks everybody for being here. We'll look forward to seeing you join, and we will be in contact with you shortly. As soon as you join, we'll get you in the Skype group. Your licenses, because we're having to make these extra licenses, it will take us a day or two to get you wrapped up and get all your licenses and everything and into the members area. But within 24 hours, usually we have everything done for you and you're ready to go. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for being here. And couple closing comments. This is awesome. Never seen anything like it before. I would like to use my extra time to help our orphanage in the Dominican Republic. Very cool. So a lot of reasons for the extra time. So thank you guys. Have a great one.
Appreciate it.